You know, back in the day, I really used to rock with No Jumper crazy. Like, I don't know what it was, but No Jumper was so nostalgic to me, especially when AD was on and Adam 22 was doing the interviews with X and Juice WRLD and all them underground old school artists. Bro, it was peak No Jumper. I know a lot of y'all probably gonna judge me though, so you know what? It's all right. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Apolxgy, and today we're going to be talking about Adam 22 and No Jumper, which is kind of sad because the platform at one point was pretty popping, and now it's just like DGen and Adam 22 is a cuck. But anyways, we're going to be reacting to my homeboy Jamari, and yeah, let's get right into the video because I'm interested to see what Jamari has to say about all of this.
So one of the hottest topics on my channel used to be the downfall of Adam 22 and the dismantling of his brand No Jumper. Basically, No Jumper completely imploded back in 2023.
When he lost AD, Duno, and I forgot the other dude name, but he was funny as hell. After that, everything went downhill, bro. They got into a huge fight. He lost one of the star personalities on No Jumper. Everything was tragic, bro.
Not only losing some of their most popular talents, but also creating this never-ending beef.
Oh, and House Phone. I forgot, bro. When I first started watching No Jumper, House Phone and Cam Girl were the only two hosts at the time. The only two co-hosts. And it was like, it was peak. It was cool. Like, they weren't doing too much. It was funny, but a little bit edgy. It was fire. Like, good information on like releases. Bro, we had all the Detroit artists come on, like YNJ and what's homie name? Rio Diongo G, RMC Mike. That's how I found out about that shit. And bro, I haven't stopped bumping Detroit since then. But yeah, whenever he did House Phone Dirty, bro, I could never look at Adam the same. And then his whole imagery just started going down.
Adam and the at the time recently departed.
Paid for the fucking funeral as soon as it happened, just because.
Aww.
Now after this,
hey,
Adam,
I really wish Adam would have got his ass
look
beat.
at his brands in a completely different light.
I didn't set down any boundaries in the beginning. It was just like, here's a table, here's these cameras, here's these 4 million subscribers, do whatever the f you guys want.
And while people enjoyed the content farm that No Jumper had become, he had held the claim that he was actually losing money on these new shows that he had created, and obviously the talent that he had hired. After this, Adam seemed
I don't see how he was losing money when he had so many popping shows. Adam just don't be managing his money right, I feel like. Like, nigga, what? That's why these artists went out, or not artists, but that's why these people went out and had their own platforms now. And it's actually lucrative for them. Shout out to my man AD. He shouted me out on his story, but like, how you gonna say that when you know these people was popping? What?
extra anxious to cash out and completely changed the way that he was operating, hiring some new talent while retaining some other guys.
And then he got Poetic Flacco, bitch ass. Bro, ain't nobody fucks with Flacco. Nobody. And you hired this man over the ride or dies that you had that was making this shit thrive, bro.
And really
Fucking
just trying to keep
nigga.
No Jumper's head above water. And I feel like the real desperation would not start until his wife Lena announced that she would be appearing in an adult video with corn star Jason Love. Keep in mind, this came right on the heels of her and Adam getting married.
That's
and of
crazy.
course, we all know how that thing ended. And with Adam completely leaning into this arc of his career, even calling himself the king of all cucks, aka the
Yo, let me know if y'all went and watched that video. Y'all freaky ass frogs. That's some freaky frogs.
the guys with the special little chairs in the corner of the room, I actually predicted that this situation would cause permanent damage to his online reputation.
Do you think that you f***ed her better than Adam did?
Well, obviously, yes.
Which, looking back, is exactly what happened. It's like Adam entered
Crazy.
a never-ending inferno of getting roasted online. So of course he would double down on the humiliation and the attention by hosting a web show giving away his wife to the man of his choice.
So we're gonna get you out of the situation.
Right, but the whole idea is that we're gonna do it together.
Just went there and just pulled my pants down and showed my French baguette to Lena and Adam.
Whoa.
I had to bring. I don't think he wanted.
Now this pretty much ended the same way, only this time Adam would actually cross swords with dude. Now since
That's
then Adam
crazy.
had not really been worth talking about. Honestly, his antics just got stale after he showed up on stream wearing a G-string.
I'm gonna put on this thong and I'm gonna go into the news and I'm gonna say hi to everybody.
Bro,
And then
bro, Adam's just sinking to like the deepest depths of hell. Like, why you doing all this for views, bro? After you lost all your talent, you decide to parade yourself around like the internet's biggest cuck, and take homoerotic pictures with G-strings and other men just to get No Jumper some views?
He was quote unquote acting like he was shooting a gay scene with none other than Jack Doherty's brother. Something he would later reveal was apparently an April Fool's prank.
To troll the world into believing
Jack Doherty's brother.
that I am a homosexual.
What?
But honestly, at that point, I don't think anyone really cared enough to be tricked. And now apparently Adam has been struggling financially, or at least No Jumper. Recently, they were actually sued by 2 former employees at his company who alleged some sort of discriminatory termination. And then Adam even promoted an alleged crypto rug pull called Coin. And keep in mind, this is something that he was dead against in the past, yet he was completely unapologetic when CoffeeZilla questioned what the hell he was doing.
I reached out. I said, hey, you shouldn't run a coin. It's lame, and you're gonna scam or get scammed. Then Adam22 says, how else am I gonna afford all this Galaxy gas?
And that really made me wonder, like, why would Adam feel the need to scam his own fans for at most a couple hundred...
Whatever is left of his own fan, because that the 4 million, 5 million, however million subs that he got on his channel, only a percentage, maybe like 1% of those fans are still around, because I'm definitely
$1,000. And now we might finally have the answer to that, as around a month later, several of his podcast hosts and friends have been detained in a large-scale gang sweep, and even Adam himself had some sort of contact with the feds as well.
I made it 41 years into this life before I had involvement, conversation with federal agents.
And now Adam made this video claiming that No Jumper has gone completely broke, but some actually believe this is to avoid paying possible legal fees, or at the very least that he is lying with an agenda. Alright guys, so here we are in the actual video where Adam claims that No Jumper is going broke. Apparently they're having some sort of logistical issues, and some other unexpected expenses have come up that are basically killing his business.
And he has Plug Talk, the channel that he also puts on Patreon, where he does his whole OF kind of content questioning, and he later shoots the videos afterwards for the OF. Like it's fucked. It's like fucked
Business.
So there's something that I've been hiding from you guys. No Jumper is going broke. I know that might sound crazy. Between both of our YouTube channels last month, we got over 25 million views. We're doing well on Facebook and Snapchat. We employ quite a few of the hottest content creators on the West Coast, and we pump out an insane amount of content on a weekly basis.
Yeah, 25 million views is really nothing to scoff at, especially when most of them are like really long form views. I mean, I gotta estimate that off AdSense alone, they're clearing at least 6 figures, but you guys have to remember that No Jumper has like a massive operation. I think they had purchased like a $5 million building back in 2022 or 2023. And at the time, I praised them for doing this. I always think it's cool.
But the crazy part is, but when he bought that $5 million space, he had content creators that was like popping enough to pull in the profits to keep everything afloat. But again, Adam shot himself in the foot by stirring up beef and firing people and doing all that fuck shit with AD and House Phone and all of them. And now he just has to pick up the scraps with all them other popping West Coast, content creators that don't have as far as a reach than the other ones did, in my opinion. So now you put yourself in a situation where you have all of this space, you have all X, Y, and Z, bop, 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 and you are projected to do specific numbers because you had the people that were pulling the numbers in, but now they're all gone. And you shot your reputation. And everything that was cool about you, or that was organic about you in a sense, because Adam22 was never really the type of guy that was like super likable. He just had that hard edge to him that people wanted to gravitate towards because you never really knew what he was going to do, like a wild card essentially. But now you've turned being a wild card and having a hard edge into being a complete clown, like everywhere. So nobody should feel sympathetic for him because he did this shit to himself.
People can make like a media conglomerate like that. I thought he was going to be
that's
like his
fire.
own little version of Barstool, but I think Adam witnessed firsthand how quickly you can just start burning through money simply because you own this insane building. And when you're just doing a podcast, like, do you really need all of that? Like,
No.
I get that it looks cool, I get that you want it to be like maybe the next Barstool, but that business model, especially in this economy, is just really rough.
How could we be going broke? Well, let's start here. We expanded too much during COVID at just about the exact moment that our revenue streams all took a hit. We hired a whole bunch of editors and other employees, and we bought a huge office building that cost us almost $4 million, thinking that the growth that we were experiencing during the pandemic was going to continue.
And this is a problem that a lot of businesses made during the pandemic. They thought that because people were at home and people were feeling good spending their stimmy money, you know, back before inflation, that, oh, these sales are going to last forever. And now that the economy has essentially flipped on its head, well, a lot of these businesses just cease to exist.
Our YouTube numbers, which had doubled or even tripled, gradually returned to normal. Our Snapchat and Facebook numbers, which had exploded during COVID, sometimes even hitting 6 figures.
Bro, even after COVID, you had the talent to keep it going. Bro, you're making excuses.
A month shrank by about 80% or more.
Take
Our
accountability.
Patreon, which was
That's the issue that you've had over the past 2 years. You haven't taken accountability for the fuck shit you did to yourself, for the fuck shit you did to your company. And now you're sitting here on camera complaining to your fans that you're going broke because the fucking pandemic that happened, what, 5 years ago at this point? You knew this shit was coming as soon as you start to see shit decline. Right after the pandemic, you should have known. So, bro, this nigga Adam has,
Yeah, I mean, at that time, I was getting contacted by a couple of reps from Snapchat that wanted to take what I was doing on YouTube and basically make a series, you know, for the Snapchat stories or whatever. And they were telling me, like, oh, we can offer you double your YouTube revenue. Apparently, the numbers were insane. Almost like when Twitter first announced their Twitter Blue program, they were paying out a lot of money, but over time, the model is just not sustainable once you keep letting more and more people in.
Was absolutely killing it for a year or two when we were doing uncensored, aka nude interviews with up-and-coming superstars like Kazumi and Sky Bree. Fell off quite a bit with the launch of Plug Talk and a decreased interest in seeing us interview stars.
right. So if that's half of your profits, if you stemmed out and did that, you know, Plug Talk portion or whatever the fuck, where is that money going to? Besides paying the talent to come in to interview, you know, you get what I'm getting at. It doesn't take a fucking mad scientist to figure this shit out.
Let's be honest for a second, guys. No one is watching Korn so that they can know about the girl's personality. No one's saying, oh, I wonder where she wants to get taken for a date. I wonder how she got into this industry. Was there trauma involved? Of course. And the other thing to me is there really that many people out there that want to see Adam getting busy on camera? Like, I get that his girl is like the focal point of the Korn business that they do. But at some point, aren't these people going to be like, yo, we're sick of Adam. We don't want to see him on that orange couch no more. As a matter of fact, if you've ever paid for one of his films, I'm looking at you completely sideways.
You might recall that the channel took quite a hit when approximately 8 of our hosts left the platform in March of 2023.
Whoa! They did what, Adam? They left, you say? They left? Okay.
Although we've definitely largely recovered and managed to build up a very healthy roster of talent since then, that certainly took a toll on our business for a while as well.
Yeah, I mean, they did recover pretty nicely from all that backlash.
But we were still solidly profitable. That is, until the last few months, where we experienced 2 major L's that we never could have seen coming. First, we lost the No Jumper Instagram. After almost 10 years of building it up and essentially no strikes on our account, we got taken down one day and we still have absolutely no idea why. We were bringing in a very solid amount of cash monthly that was keeping us afloat via selling sponsored posts on the account.
You know, I do always wonder if those type of Instagram promotions actually lead to real growth for an artist. I honestly feel like you'd be better off trying to do something a little bit unique and trying to get your music trending that way through some sort of like sick little reel, sick little short video.
In addition to that, we have been hit with a bullshit lawsuit from a former employee. Now, essentially everything in this lawsuit is completely fictional, and every lawyer that I've spoken to about it has described this as basically an extortion attempt, but it still cost us a ton of money already, and it's expected to cost us many hundreds of thousands of dollars to see this through to completion.
God damn. I mean, yeah, I've heard that those legal fees will drain you quick. I mean, I would think if they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on this, it must be somewhat serious. And yeah, this is apparently the court case right here. And so yeah, apparently this Riley Garcia and this Yuri guy, who I think I remember,
Yuri.
are suing NOJUMPER, Adam, somebody named Josh, and somebody named Nicholas.
Josh is like the kind of like the manager. I don't know about Nick, but I know Josh is like the manager. I wonder. I'm gonna have to look into that.
So yeah, they're
That's
basically
crazy.
saying that NOJUMPER and Adam right here are responsible for some sort of acts of discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. I mean, honestly, for all the shoddy things that were going on in NOJUMPER, like even before all these individuals were employed, I feel like this shit could turn into a damn class action lawsuit. Like on some surviving NOJUMPER shit, allegedly. Either way, I think this is the guy Yuri. They probably don't want to show his face for legal reasons, but
It's insane to me that a person that we did so much for can just invent some grievances out of thin air and cost us this much money as a result. But somehow that's our reality, and we have to fight this rather than just give in to this piece of shit.
I mean, yeah, because if you give in to one person, it kind of sets the precedent like, oh, everyone come sue me now. I'm just going to be handing out settlements.
So as a result of all these circumstances, we are making some changes. Over the last few months, we laid off multiple employees in an attempt to reduce our expenses as much as possible. We closed down our store on Melrose.
Damn.
And we're in the early stages of selling our current warehouse and moving into a smaller space.
Damn.
To be honest, aside from the layoffs, which sucked, I'm pretty happy about a lot of these changes. I've realized that I should have paid more.
His teleprompter ass, bro. You can tell this nigga's reading off a teleprompter. Come from the heart, Adam. Do it from the heart. You're fighting for your life right now, nigga. You're fighting for your life, and you sound like a robot. What the
more
fuck?
attention to DJ Vlad and kept my overhead as low as possible, particularly in terms of staff and location.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that massive building that I guess he bought turned into an insane fucking headache. And I would say the only saving grace here is that really only NOJUMPER could go bankrupt. Like, it's hard for me to see them coming after his personal assets if he has everything set up correctly.
Confident that once we get the building sold, we'll be in a pretty solid financial position again as a business. I've got another business in the form of Plug Talk, and I've got a pretty decent investment portfolio on a personal level. It was a big decision to share this stuff with you guys, but at a certain point I realized that I
honestly think if that's the more lucrative option, Plug Talk, and you know it's bringing in more, you know, revenue, more views or whatever, I feel like NOJUMPER is kind of at its end, if I'm gonna be honest. So the writing's on the wall. It's only a matter of time. You might as well just let it go and do Plug Talk full time.
I've been honest with the world about just about everything in my life over the years, and it felt wrong to keep all this stuff that we've been dealing with in secret.
Adam, come on, bro. Be honest about the rug pull then.
I know what you're thinking. What can you do to help? Well,
I wasn't thinking
I do
that.
have some ideas, which I'll sort into 3 categories here: free, cheap, and generous.
Oh, here we go. Adam's about to ask the audience for some money to pay those legal fees.
We are really trying to get serious about embracing our members here on YouTube.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about memberships on YouTube? Have you joined anyone's channel? I'm always getting emails encouraging me to do that type of thing, but I don't know, it's just hard for me to see someone in my audience spending like the same price as Netflix or something like that, just so they can watch an extra piece or like an uncensored version of my content.
$5 a month, we've got a ton of awesome benefits, including being able to watch all of our interviews free of censorship and bleeped words before they're released to the public. Members only chat for all of our live stream content.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you're like a huge time fan and you really want to be in like the members only chat, that's the only reason I can see doing something like this. And I'll also say, like, if you're getting endless entertainment value from somebody and it's pretty much all free, yes, I can see you throwing them like $5 a month.
And for those of you who have more money to spend, we're introducing a mega premium $100 tier to our membership.
Wait, let me guess. If you spend generous money, you get a night with Under the Plug. Yo. I wouldn't be surprised if Adam did something like that just to keep his channel afloat. as sad as it sounds and as wacky as it sounds, that's something that Adam would do.
That will get your name added to the
$100 a month, $1,200 a year. That's like 1 month of rent for a lot of people. But hey, you get those producer credits.
And it will also get you consistent advice and opinions on your music submissions with
no, hell no.
one free submission per month and discounted additional songs.
Honestly, if you are a young up-and-coming artist and you have $100 to spend on your career, this is not where I would put it. I remember back in the day, No Jumper would always do these like listening to your music live streams where maybe like 10, 15,000 people were tuned in and they were just playing different people's music who would send them $100.
I like it. I want to.
It's not bad.
I want to hang out with him and be depressed.
And I really want to know if one single person or one single song actually blew up from doing that. Because when you're a broke artist, $100 isn't just like chump change. I just think you're still much better off trying to do like a Facebook or Instagram, maybe even a TikTok campaign. And you can at least be a lot more precise with what type of demographic you're going for.
There's my update. I've been kind of thinking about telling you guys about all this stuff for a while. I'm not begging for sympathy or anything like that. I'm just being realistic about owning a media business.
And honestly, guys, for once, I don't really see this as something to really clown at him about. This is something that a lot of businesses all over the country are experiencing right now. And I do think it's really easy to expand when you feel like you have a really good thing going. You feel like the community loves it. Like, there was this barbecue trailer nearby, and they were like a hit classic in South Austin. They go and try and move into a huge brick and mortar, and it just completely fucks everything up. The service was bad, they were always running out of food, stealing tips from the wait staff. It just ended up being this huge shit show. And within like 4 months, this previously really popular food trailer that was making a ton of money went completely bankrupt. Even back a couple of years ago, I thought about making like essentially a smaller version of what his office was, where people could come in if they want and rent the space out and do podcasts, but I thought mainly I would use the space as an office. But then as I started renting out spaces and talking to the people that, you know, own these type of media places, I realized that it was essentially a money pit. Like, I remember I paid like $400 to shoot at this place for 2 hours, a podcast with my buddy Danny. And I remember...
Look, shout out to Jamari for this video, bro. I'll link the link down in the description down below. But listen, Adam, I can't necessarily like pity you for having come out about all of this. And I don't know. To me, it just seems like you knew ahead of time that this building was gonna cost you money, especially after you lost your key talent. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, why are we still gonna sit here and act like we didn't know when we had the out the whole time? It's like sitting there knowing you could just go pay a fine to prevent going to jail, but then you end up in jail just because you're too lazy to go and take care of that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comment section below. Were you ever previously a fan of No Jumper? Do you like Adam22, or is he just a big clown to you? Let me know. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like. If you're new to the channel, please sub. We are almost at 500 subs, and my goal by my birthday is 500. So without further ado, I love y'all. Please stay safe out there and stay healthy, and I'm out. Peace.